I got carded at a liquor store, and my Blockbuster card accidentally fell out. The cashier said, never mind. Tubby.
Welcome back, my creative Cosmonauts. Tis I, your shepherd of shows, your guru of games, your master of movies, and your Mocapitan of cosplay. Are you guys ready to rock? Let's do this, come on! Before we get started, hit the like button, share this with your favorite episode to help the show grow, because we're almost at 500 subscribers. Woo! And hit the notification button too. Board games. You love them. I love them. Everybody loves board games. There are so many different varieties of board games, like Battleship, Clue, Mousetrap, Guess Who, Checkers, Chess, and Monopoly. And that's just a few from the US. Imagine the different board games from around the world. The earliest known board games date back 5,000 years ago by the Egyptians, about 35 BC, give or take. What's your favorite board game? Leave it down in the comments below. The most popular board game, or should I say tabletop game, is Dungeons and Dragons, the greatest drug for wicked, beautiful imagination and creativity. My first experience was at a bachelor party. A booyah! It's candlelight, Celtic music, big glasses of mead. It was awesome. We all had a Hellfire Club's t-shirts on. We looked badass. I must admit, as a beginner, it can be difficult to get a hang of it. But I happen to know a guy that not only created his own tabletop game, but took all the elements of D&D and simplified it to a killer up to 8-person tabletop game with no dungeon master. But before we get into that, it is time for...
From Boom Studios and from author James Tyron. Something is killing the children. When the children of Archer's Peak begin to go missing, everything seems hopeless. Most of the children never return, but the ones that do have terrible stories. Impossible stories of terrifying creatures that live in the shadows. Their only hope of finding and eliminating the threat is the arrival of a mysterious stranger, one who believes the children and claims to see what they can see. Her name is Erica Slaughter. She kills monsters. That is all she does. Then that's all she needs to do. And she bears the cost because it must be done. Find yourself a copy at boomstudios.com or any local comic book store.
Go to boomstudios.com and check out Something's Killing the Children. It is an amazing read. You'll love it. I highly recommend it. Okay, check out this awesome interview with my friend Thor. Yes, that's his real name. Seriously, it's from Norway. Come on, so check it out.
Without including Carrie Kelly, how many Robins have there been in the Bat family? A, 12, B, 10, C, 7, or D, 5? Stay tuned for the answer after the interview.
Thor, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for coming out.
Dude, this is amazing. So tell me about this game, bro.
It's called Dungeons & Dragons: Trials of Tempest. It was born out of the idea of what happens when two different groups of D&D groups, like your party of adventurers and another rival party of adventurers, we're trying to accomplish the same thing. Like, what happens in that sense? So we're trying to. It was basically a competitive D&D version
Right.
that we have always wanted to and talked about and whatever. So finally, we're like, you know what? We can actually. We're in a weird position where we can make this.
How did that feel?
It was weird. I've always loved, like, I used to tinker with all kinds of, like, making games as a kid and whatever. Like, I tried to make, like, a tabletop version of StarCraft. Remember StarCraft?
I love StarCraft. It's the best.
The tabletop version of StarCraft was awful, and I was, like, 13, right? But, like, I've always had that sort of urge to do it.
Right.
And then, you know, I played D&D, and luckily for me, I'm in LA, I know these actors. We played D&D at, like, kind of a high level. And one of my buddies who helped make the game, Kyle Newman, who published, you know, both Arcana, which is the visual history of D&D, the Hero's Feast, which is that cookbook for D&D universe. He obviously knows them and knows all these, you know, famous people. So as soon as we were like, oh, we have this idea, and they'll actually sit down and meet with us because you already work together.
Right.
Luckily, so we were able to do that. We were able to go to Seattle, go to, like, you know, WotC, Wizards of the Coast, and they're like, yeah, come hang out. And talk to them and be like, hey, you know, Mike Merles and Nathan Stewart or whoever is currently in charge, like, we have this idea. And they're like, that's awesome. We can't personally do it here, but we like it. We'll ask WizKids, who has our license and makes board games, to do it. So instead of having to, like, go the other way where you're trying to pitch to, like, higher and higher up the chain,
Right.
trying to get WizKids to get you a meeting, WizKids' boss basically sent an email saying you should make this game. And then you're in, right? So it's definitely from a position of privilege over many years of, you know, playing D&D.
So how long did you guys, like, put, like, a thing together?
Man, that was probably 4.5 years ago.
4.5 years.
So there's been a lot of work since then. There's been a lot of delays since then. Obviously with, like, COVID and
The apocalypse.
even when COVID was done here, it was like, cool, well, now we can print the game, right? Nope, China had, like, a new wave and all their factories were still shut down.
Yeah.
So it took forever. But here we are, and it's finally out, and it looks beautiful.
Dude, it's a great turnout, too.
Yeah.
It's a great turnout. The game looks amazing.
Thanks, man.
The package itself, it's compact. It fits on a shelf. And you don't have to really worry about, like, so many stat sheets and all that stuff like that. You know?
Yes, we've done all the math in the game happens under the surface. Like, you get these cards that just tell you what's up, and if you were to do the D&D math, it makes sense. Like, oh, it's because of the pluses here and here and here that my, you know, hit range is whatever. So all that stuff is done for you already. All you have to do is decide, like, how to best spend your, you know, time and actions and focus and what you're going to want to do in the game. So it's simple in that way.
Would you say, for people that never play D&D but want to get into it, would you say this would be the best route to get just their feet wet into
Yeah,
that
sure.
world?
So in one way, for sure. One of the good things about this game is you do not need a dungeon master, right? So one of the gateways, or, like,
there's a lot of dungeon masters at home. They're like,
oh. No, but one of the problems, like, to start playing D&D is someone has to sacrifice themselves and be the dungeon master and know all the rules,
Right.
or at least a lot of them, or whatever. This game doesn't need that. Like, the game itself is scripted enough to where you're just playing with your friends, and it really feels like you're playing D&D really quickly in 2-3 hours with a group of your friends.
everything's set up.
Everything is already done for you, and you don't need that DM, and it's, So especially, and if you're playing D&D already, and your DM just can't make it, boom, time to make. Yeah, this is where you try your characters against your friends, like your buddy's character.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So you have opponents. You have your team versus another team.
There's a
Then you have a mission in the middle.
Yeah. There's a trial you're trying to accomplish, and the other team's trying to do the same thing, and you're, you know, can focus on either doing that yourself or denying them the ability to do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
towards the end, it all coalesces towards the middle.
Yeah.
And people are carrying a bunch of magical items that are worth victory points. If you kill that person, they'll drop them, and you can pick them up. So there's a lot of swingy.
So beautiful.
It gets more and more intense towards the end. So whoever has the most victory points at that moment wins.
That sounds pretty
So
fun.
you're going, you're running, you're doing all these things back and forth, and very often you don't know who's going to win until the final blow lands. Because if they miss that blow, it's the other team's
It's
turn,
the
and
other team's
then
turn.
they can win, right? So it's like
Interesting.
it's a lot
The
of
stakes are high.
the stakes are high, and it gets tense the whole time. In
Nope.
this game, there's always a little bit of a catch-up thing. You're never out.
I like that. It's never doomed.
You're never doomed.
You always have a chance.
So a lot of people like that, and some people don't like that.
I love that. What's the runtime?
If you know what you're doing,
Mhm.
2 to 3 hours. But it's still, that's like, I mean, normally you'd get together and play D&D for 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 hours.
Right? You can actually finish a game.
Yeah, it's less than that. So you finish the game and that's it. And then you're just jonesing for that next one to be like, well, I'm gonna get you next time.
What got you into D&D? Like, where does this start?
So a funny story. I'm in Norway. I'm 11 years old.
Oh shit.
At the time, in the 80s or early 90s, Norway was one of the very few countries where like very early versions of D&D actually got translated to Norwegian. One of like 5 languages total it ever got translated to. So I obviously found that stuff. My friend of mine's older brother was a super counterculture guy,
Yeah.
like mohawk and tats and like, you know, the jean vest and like basically a punk.
It's a friend.
Old punk, yeah. And he had this game. He's like, you need 50 pages of you need 50 sheets of paper just to start playing this game.
Holy.
And I'm like, oh my God, I immediately need to play this. Like, to me, that's always been like, oh my God, I need to play that game.
50 sheets? Oh.
He's obviously like, he was trying to make those little kids play with it, but it had exactly the opposite effect on me. So I was like, cool, I need to play this game. And I started playing at 11, played all through high school. Stopped when I came to LA. I was like, you know, I'm gonna be, I don't know any D&D people here.
Right.
I'm gonna be an actor now. I'm gonna do acting things. Just never, you know, like fit in really. And then 5-6 years later, I'm like, fuck it. I'm a huge nerd. I gotta just lean into the nerdiness.
Yep.
And started playing D&D again. And then just like, turns out all of my creative friends are really super into D&D because that's one of those things that a lot of creative people have in common. Writers and directors, like they played D&D, and that was part of what's, you know, woke their
inner desire.
desire for storytelling as a career. So it's, you know, it's a great tool in the business and network. Oh, that's not why people do it, that obviously happens naturally. But it's been fantastic. So since like 2015, when the 5th edition came out, I've been playing constantly.
That's freaking amazing.
I mean, I play professionally now. I play D&D in the Castle in England. I'm gonna play at Gen Con, a couple of professional games.
So dope. That's one way to sell it right there.
LA is great for that stuff. No matter what it is you like, there is a significant subculture that's into that in LA.
Dude, that's freaking dope, man. Dude, I'm happy for you, man. The game is fun. I'm gonna go jump back in there and like play another couple rounds.
You should totally come down and play. Yeah, do a demo round.
Do a demo round.
Yeah, crush it.
Thank you so much, man.
And back to you, Cosmo.
I'm right here.
You, Cosmo.
Without including Carrie Kelly, how many Robins have there been in the Bat family? A. 12, B. 10, C. 7, or D. 5? And the answer is 5. Dick Grayson was the first Robin who later became Nightwing. Jason Todd, who became the Red Hood. Tim Drake, who became the Red Robin. Stephanie Brown, who became the second Batgirl, then, spoiler. And Damian Wayne, who is now the current Robin.
Please show Thor some love and thunder. Pick up your own very copy of Trials and Tempest and have a wicked time playing against or with friends. You can find it on Amazon, WizKids.com, and at your local gaming store. I don't know how many times we've done this, but seriously, I'm sorry. Apologies to Elliot. I know, we just ran out of time. I promise you, Elliot, we'll get to you soon. I swear, we'll get to you eventually. Best way to support the channel is to head over to our Patreon, where you can get early access to new episodes by becoming a Cosmonaut Patreon member. New stuff is coming, so don't want to miss out on that. Catch your favorite episode on Spotify now, in case you can't watch, we like to listen. You can also help us by using the promo code COSMOE to get 10% off of your purchase at w.gg and get an amazing energy supplement for your everyday multitasking life. Drop a comment down below, let's communicate, ask me questions and I'll answer back. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want to see. Make good decisions, power to the strike, and remember, the world can be a rough place if you don't have love, peace, chicken, and grease. Get some dummy! Thanks for watching and subscribing. You guys are the best. Oh, check out this clip next, huh? Yeah. Or that one. I mean, check them both out while you're at it. Why not?